So Donald Trump is notoriously stupid, and he has little patience for learning new things. And of course, little patience for actual facts. That's why, he continuously lies all the time. It's pathological. He can't help himself. And as far as learning new things or retaining information, look, it's been reported before that he doesn't pay attention to his briefings, that he has little to no attention span. He gets bored very, very easily. And so that's why they've had to reduce his daily briefings to half a page filled with your killer maps and graphics and all that stuff. And even in some cases, reducing information to tweet-length segments. That's got to keep his attention. And not only that, but he also has to pepper his name in, or they have to pepper his name in throughout these briefings to keep his attention. Because if it's not about Trump, well, then I don't really care. I mean, it's got to be about Trump. So now, that's what we know now. However, earlier in his administration, his advisors thought that they could try to educate him to make sure that he actually learns facts. Okay, well, how did that go? Well, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal, not very well. Quote, early in his administration, White House officials arranged private Oval Office briefings so he could speak more knowledgeably about Amazon after hearing him make false claims about the online retailer. Gary Cohn, then his chief economic advisor, and other officials tried to bring Trump up to speed on the topic, but to their dismay, he continued making the same inaccurate complaints about Amazon's tax and shipping payments. So, look, for a while now, and it's just happened recently, of course, and that led to Amazon actually losing stock value. So what he says and does about a company has real-world economic consequences in falling stock and things like that. So what he's been saying about Amazon is basically, they're abusing the post office, they're cheating the post office. It's costing them so much money. In fact, look, here's him saying that.
The post office is losing billions of dollars, and the taxpayers are paying for that money because it delivers packages for Amazon at a very below cost. And that's not fair to the United States. It's not fair to our taxpayers. And Amazon has the money to pay the fair rate at the post office, which would be much more than they're paying right now. But if you look at the cost that we're subsidizing, we're giving a subsidy to Amazon, and we're talking about billions of dollars a year, the real cost. And a report just came out. They said $1.47, I believe, or about that, for every time they deliver a package, the United States government, meaning the post office, loses $1.47. So Amazon is going to have to pay much more money to the post office. There's no doubt about that.
No. So obviously, he's claiming the post office is hurting. The Amazon is hurting the post office and the taxpayers. That is factually incorrect. What's the reality is that Amazon is actually one of the post office's biggest customers. Now, the post office doesn't even run on taxpayer money. It's funded by stamps and shipping fees. So, no, they don't get any money from the federal government. So it can't be hurting the taxpayers. And look, Amazon, like I said, Amazon is a customer. They pay the post office to ship their stuff. And of course, they go and they negotiate that rate. Now, look, if you want to talk about some of the problems with the post office, well, sure, those are significant problems. Now, one of them, of course, is the fact that they have to fund employee pensions way ahead of time. That, of course, leads them with a shortfall of revenue. Not only that, but less people are sending letters via the post office. It's because we have things like email and text messages. Nobody wants to send a letter. So, look, those are significant issues. Now, Amazon is actually helping the post office by being a customer to the post office. So that helps it by giving them, of course, revenue. Now, of course, these are facts. So Trump doesn't care about facts. Now, According to one person familiar with the situation, they said, quote, "It's not the narrative that he wants. He clearly didn't find it persuasive because he keeps saying it's untrue." Oh, so it disrupts his narrative against Amazon. Fascinating. Now, look, I'm going to get into why. But first, I want to get into some of the problems that I have with Amazon, and I've talked about those. In full disclosure, I am an Amazon partner, which means if you click the link and you shop through Amazon, I actually get money from it. So I just want to put that out for 100% pure transparency. I am a partner of Amazon. But nonetheless, I believe that Amazon and other corporations should not be paying low taxes. They should be paying more taxes. They should actually pay their fair share of taxes. And I want Amazon workers to be able to join into unions so they can bargain for fair wages and benefits. So, and look, I, of course, have done stories about conditions inside of Amazon warehouses and how they were actually quite terrible. Nonetheless, Trump's problems with Amazon are not the same problems that I have with Amazon. It's not about the plight of the working man or how much they pay in taxes. No, when you look at it, Trump's tax cut actually enriched Amazon by billions of dollars. So he can't sit there and talk about, oh, Amazon, got to pay more money. You got to pay more money to the post office because we're abusing the post office. Not true. Not true. Look, here's the real issue. Sources close to the White House told the Journal that Trump was personally angry with Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos because he also owns the Washington Post, whose coverage the president sees as unfairly critical of him and his administration. Those sources say Trump is attacking Amazon as a proxy for the Washington Post and Bezos. The Washington Post, they say mean things about me. They hurt my feelings. What a snowflake. Come on, man. If you're going to go after Amazon, go after them for legitimate reasons. Oh, that's right. You just gave them and all these other corporations an enormous tax cut. Hypocrisy. Now, look, here's the thing. According to one person who speaks regularly to the president, said his complaints about Amazon were directly related to Post coverage. The source said, quote, "Trump talked about the fact that the Washington Post is solely owned by Jeff Bezos, and Bezos is using that same entity to take on the president and the administration," and another person close to the White House confirmed the source's claim. That person said, quote, "Every time there was a bad story, Amazon would come up." Now, again, Jeff Bezos is an incredibly wealthy person. He was actually helped personally by the Trump tax cuts. It has made him even more wealthy. He loves the deregulation, and he loves corporate tax cuts. That is what the Trump administration has been doing. And look, furthermore, I don't actually believe that Bezos has direct control over the Washington Post editorial. Look, the Washington Post, and I have problems with them as well, because they have an establishment bias. Everybody's got a bias. Obviously, the Washington Post has an establishment bias. They love the status quo. They want to stay with the status quo. So that's, of course, why they write 16 negative articles that are, against Bernie Sanders in 16 hours. It's because anything that challenges the establishment, they don't like. Now, what did Trump run on? He ran on challenging the establishment. Now, has he done a very good job? Well, he's done a very good job at basically exposing the flaws in the system by being incredibly corrupt. He is the poster boy for governmental corruption. Everybody in that administration they're either destroying the positions that they're put in, the agents that they're put in. Look at Mick Mulvaney at the CFPB. Look at Scott Pruitt, who might not be there for very much longer. He's, of course, destroying what the agency's supposed to be about. And, of course, they're all making money off the taxpayers. They're wasting taxpayer money. For example, Ben Carson was $31,000 office furniture. Come on. Yes, he's a great example of corruption because he is corruption. But that's the only thing that may be positive that he's doing is getting people fed up with that kind of corruption because he's laying it bare. Again, that is a legitimate criticism. Now, Bezos, look, again, he's a centrist billionaire. He loves corporate tax cuts. He loves deregulation. And look, I don't believe that, though, he has control over the Washington Post directly to go and say, go and attack Donald Trump. No, these establishment politicians, they're going to go, establishment writers over the Washington Post are going to do that on their own. So that's because that's their perspective. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.